Soto and Chad here with another little quick talk. Soto, tell me what's on your mind. What do you want to ask? What do you want to ask of me?
I thought about this the other night, and it just because I was thinking about this question, so I just kind of want to get your opinion.
Okay, I'm ready.
And we talk a lot about movies on obviously a lot of these like talks. So I wanted to ask you, what was the last good movie that you saw? And I'm not talking like, oh, okay, that was okay, like I'll watch it once. Just like the last movie that you saw that ended up being one of the better movies that you've seen in your life.
Holy shit. So I can't go. Well, no, because there's some movies that I watched that came out in the '90s. So I'm going to go chronologically. The last, like you said, the last good movie. Because otherwise, I could easily say Pulp Fiction. Because I know I just actually recently watched that last month. But
Chronologically, you're
I know,
correct.
no, no, I
Exactly.
know, I
Yes.
know. I'm kind of stalling for time because I'm really kind of racking my brain. Because here's the thing: before we get into it, when me and you worked at Blockbuster, we saw a ton of shit. And I
Hmm.
think the day my days were done at Blockbuster, I really stopped becoming a movie guy. Not that I still watch some
Yes.
movies, but you don't watch as much. We did not go out into the theater as much. I think the last movies I saw in theaters was I think either when me and you went to go see Captain Marvel, or actually probably when I went with my friends and his nephews and we saw like the latest Minions Rise of whatever. I don't know, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
fun. But I wouldn't call. Oh my God, the last great movie that I saw.
And I'm going to tell you right now, spoiler alert, I did I was counting on you having this reaction because yeah, it took me a bit to think about, okay, like the last movie that I was like, this is genuinely a good movie. And for me, I have seen one recently. So it's a little bit easier for me, but I
Go
know I had
ahead.
the same
I'm going
exact
to
thing you
have you
did.
talk. Why don't you start with yours? Because now I got a couple coming to mind, and I'm just trying to place, and they're good for different reasons. But I think I might have one. But I go ahead. Tell me what yours is, because I know
Well,
you
the
already have
last
this
one that
right.
I saw, because it was just, on Prime, was that the Everything Everywhere All at Once movie.
Yes, the one that won like
With
best picture.
Michelle
Didn't it just
Yeoh.
win? Yeah, best picture, right? Yeah,
Yeah, but I
yeah.
wasn't paying attention to it back then because I used to pay attention to the Oscars and things like that when I was much bigger of a film guy than I am now. And so I was like, oh yeah, I'll get around to it. I was like, I didn't really watch any trailers for it. I didn't get any hype for it. I didn't watch the Oscars for it, so I watched it. And it wasn't one of the greatest movies, but it was like one of the better movies I've seen in a while. It was a little on the long side, but I just liked it. I thought it was really, really good. But before that, I really don't remember. I'd have to really rack my mind because I just don't, like you said, I don't watch movies as much as I used to. And I don't keep up with them as much as I used to since I left Blockbuster Video, which was like, Jesus Christ, 2011.
Yeah, something like
And
that. I don't
so
remember.
we talk a lot about these older movies on our channel and everything like that, but I'm just trying to get down to the heart of like what's with the newer movies and what did we fall off of them?
All right, so I don't know if this answer of mine is going to satisfy you because there's a definition of what is a great movie, what is a good
Mm.
movie,
Hmm.
but you know what I mean. I don't know if anything kind of blows me away, and that's I'm kind of having a hard time. But there is one of the last movies I saw. I've rewatched this movie now 3 times. So to me, it's a
Wow.
good enough movie where I watch it, and I'm going to build it up a little bit, but it's probably going to disappoint people. And I like a lot of the psychological, almost like small indie type. Where the more the mindset of people. Like I don't know if you remember in the '90s. There's a movie called Cube. I don't know if you saw it. I fucking thought that was
I've
amazing.
rented it out to many people.
Yes, and I loved it. And it wasn't, I think a lot of people were expecting this horror, but it was the idea of people being trapped in this area and just
Sure.
how their mindsets were with each other, how they're going to survive, who's, going to go crazy and kind of take over kind of thing. Was Cube like the greatest movie? No, but I friggin' loved it because, again, it's the idea. I know we've talked about this. It's like Saw. There's parts of Saw which I love. I know you're not a Saw fan, but I think the idea of
No.
these two guys in the room, I love simplicity, and I think to me that
Hmm.
makes a great movie. So, saying that, and I know this is going to sound weird to people. There is this movie called Circle, and I saw it. Now the idea is these people wake
Circle.
up. Circle. It's not.
Okay.
There's two, but it's I think it might be 60, 80 people. They kind of all awaken, weirdly enough, what they believe is a UFO. And what happens is they don't know what they're there, but they can't move and stuff like that. But the idea is they have to vote each other off or vote the next person who's going to die. And basically,
This is a
who's going to be
movie?
the last. This is a movie. And the whole idea is like, who do we kill and who's going to be the last person to go to basically escape? They kind of figure things out. But yeah, I saw it on Netflix and I loved it because it's like they're all panicking. It's like, well, do we get rid of the older people? Well, who are we going to kill? The pregnant one or the little girl? And it's just like I said, I love the psychology of people when they're put in the most stressful of situations.
Mm,
Now, is it a
yes.
great movie? No, people will not put this on their top 10 list. But again, you know me, I love a lot of movies that just take a very simple story and just tell it. I don't know. That's why I love it. But those are my kind of movies because, going back to '90s, like The Usual Suspects, love Memento, love. So those suspense, those thinking movies are kind of where I might go to, like my favorites, personal favorites. I mean, yes, there's the Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, all the big blockbuster ones, but I can't remember the
Sure.
last fucking blockbuster movie I saw. So, like you, I've not really watched movies in the last 10 years since my days of blockbusters been done, and it's hard. But
That's
but
great.
but yeah, this movie Circle, like I said, I saw it and the premise just grabbed me, and I love again, like I said, just it was a simple concept, and the idea is like. Who are you going to kill? But yeah, I say round, but each time they have to vote one person off. But in the middle of these 2-3 minutes of them discussing, they're trying to figure each other out, and then you
Yeah.
can't move. So again, I know it's not like people look at that like really that's a fucking good movie. To me, it was. And like I said, it's 90 minutes, quick and easy. It's that's the sweet spot right there. You don't feel like it's a long movie. It gets to the point. It tracks you in, and then voila. So yes, it may not be the answer you're looking for, but I think the last good movie I saw was Circle because I was like, damn, I liked it, and I've actually watched it a couple more times since, especially knowing what happens. And I just think it's just like I said, the way people act when they're in a stressful situation, those
Hmm.
kind of things just that's what gets me. Those are the kind of movies, those are the kind of stories I love a lot. So that's my
Well,
answer. Might not be the best answer. I suggest it to you. If you got time, I think it might be on Netflix. Like I said, it's 90 minutes. You might come back to me and say,
yeah.
Chad, you're a fucking idiot. That's okay. I'm okay. We don't have to like the same things, but it's a simple movie. It's not a horror. It's just, a suspense drama. But again, kind of looks like a horror movie, but it's not. So yeah, I would have to say that's the last one because in the time I saw it, and I think I first saw it maybe 2 years ago, I've watched it a few times. Like I will just be sitting there and I just kind of pull it up and I'm just watching certain parts. I'm like, damn, yeah, it was good. Like I said, I liked it a lot. But that should tell you also the state of movies since like the last
Yeah.
10
Well,
years.
I'm
'Cause,
I'm trying to think to myself, is it me? Like, have I like gotten out of touch, or like have movies moved on without me, or are movies just really bad? Because I've had this kind of mentality for the last 15, 20 years that movies have gotten progressively worse. But obviously, we do a podcast called Rotten Taste, and there's plenty of older movies that are terrible.
Mhm.
So I'm just wondering right now, it's like, am I just missing out? Is the way that I interact with movies, changed so dramatically? Because, like you, I used to go to the movie theater all the time. I used to rent movies all the time. Now I can rent any movie I want pretty much. It's all at my fingertips as long as I'm subscribed to 6 different like streaming things. Um,
Yeah.
they're all there, and it's like I have nothing but all the choices in front of me, and at this point in my life, I'm choosing to not continue to move forward. It's almost like when it was a finite resource, it was a lot more interesting and a lot more like more fulfilling to get a hold of. So that's something I have to think about. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. I mean, circle if it's good or if it sucks. Like, you liked it. That's the whole point of our rotten taste anything. It's like, if you like it and it's
Yeah.
terrible, like, who cares? And if that's the last good one, I think it's just more interesting to talk about, kind of our disconnect, with movies, which is something that, both you and I grew up with. So it's interesting that this time in our life we're like, movies? What are those?
Movies? What are those? Outside of like Marvel movies, which but those are different topic or category in itself. So,
Yeah.
and even some of them aren't that great, but that's a story for another day. So,
Yes. Another
Well,
talk.
yeah. For anyhow, for those still listening, let us know what was the last great or good movie that you actually enjoyed. Not something you might have rewatched from like the 80s or 90s, but the last one to come out. Let us know what you thought of it, just so maybe we could check it out one day and tell you what you think. And until next time, Soda and
Yes.
Chad out of here.
Out.